Welcome back to the OCAD Sports Report. My name is Avishai Sol. I am your host, and we have had a very busy week in the world of sports. Basketball is starting, baseball is ending, and soccer is still going on because it never stops. I've been wondering a little bit lately, as the seasons change and the summer turns to fall, turns to winter, the sports moments that mark the seasons and these comings and goings within the fabric of our lives, what does it all mean? And the conclusion I came to is I just like watching people run around and kick and throw balls into baskets. The trick to being a sports fan, I think, tell all of your friends about it, remind them how smart you are. It's okay, because they never remember what you told them anyway. We have a lot to talk about within the world of sports. Let's get started. Starting off within the world of baseball, it's the MLB playoffs. The semifinals are going on as we speak. Biggest news of the previous round was that the Dodgers, who were just laying waste to the league, lost before they could even get to the finals, before they could even get to the semifinals. I couldn't have bet on that. I couldn't have guessed that. What's going on instead, we have the Astros versus the Yankees and the Phillies versus the Padres. This is a playoffs, an exciting playoffs, mind you, but the thing that's making it different than any other is the revised format within the wild card system. We Blue Jays fans know, we experienced it firsthand, but rather than a one-off game to decide who gets into the playoffs, it's a best of 3 series. Of course, the Jays lost in 2 games, and this revised format has some positives and some negatives, like any new rule change would. You could argue that for the wild card spot, most of those teams aren't exactly top of the line, or else they would have been in the playoffs. They're still good. They're still very good teams. It's just, are they going to win the World Series? Maybe. You'd think that the top contenders would win their division. So to have a one-off game, just decide it, get the wild card out of the way quickly, could be seen as a positive. But this best of 3 series has given fan bases like Toronto's hope to contend. Although, of course, you know, we lost both, so like, great, we have another game to suck. I don't actually have a cold. Now moving on to some NBA basketball. The season has started, which means we've had some huge storylines going on. Big name rookies overachieving in their first week of play, namely Paolo Banchero, the #1 pick by the Orlando Magic. He had a big dunk on his first night, big game, 27 points.
The follow no good. Rebound Wagner. Pitches it ahead to Banchero. Banchero gonna take it, fly over the top of Joseph, and draw the foul.
Young
Put
man.
that on your highlight reel, young fella.
Oh, young fella.
Canadian Benedict Mathurin for the Indiana Pacers has had some great games to start, but more importantly, I want to focus on the teams. 2 in particular, boasting many star players. One, the Los Angeles Lakers, featuring LeBron James and Anthony Davis. They have looked bad. And it's not because of their stars. LeBron has been awesome, as he always is. Anthony Davis has looked awesome. The problem is their supporting cast really doesn't fit the team's needs. Nobody can shoot. Russell Westbrook has been even worse than last season. Honestly, changes need to be made if Los Angeles wants to contend. Then moving on to the East, where we have the Brooklyn Nets featuring stars Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. And Ben Simmons. You might remember Ben Simmons had a big old controversy when he gave up an open dunk in the playoffs.
Simmons, they cleared out for him. Tapping his way in. Spins on Gallinari. Gives it up. Oh, he was right there. And a foul as Thibault goes to the basket. Boy, Simmons, uncontested, had a layup, but he leaves it for Thibault, who makes something out of it and is headed to the line.
Well, but that's when you know that the game is in your head. That's a dunk for Ben Simmons right there. You got it, and I know you got it to Thibault, you got the free throws, but Ben Simmons, you got to shoot that shot.
And then he was like sort of injured, like, but not really, and then fighting with the front office, and he spent all of last season sitting out, traded to Brooklyn. Now he's making his triumphant return where he scores 4 points. Not very exciting. So both the Lakers and the Nets have their work cut out for them, but they do have the star power, which means you can never quite count them out. Moving on to some NFL football, we had a big trade between the Panthers and the 49ers, sending running back Christian McCaffrey over to the 49ers, who are now set to become contenders for maybe even a Super Bowl. In return, the Panthers get a bunch of picks in the second, third, and fourth rounds. This is an example of two teams going in opposite directions, and a trade that works out for both of them. Honestly, the Panthers aren't going going to contend, so they get picked back. They're retooling, rebuilding, sending their star asset out to a team that is trying to move up in the rankings, trying to contend, acquiring win-now talent. It's a big name, and it's a big trade, but there's no controversy here. It's just this team needed this team needed that, and they switch. But now for some controversy, because we're moving on to some soccer or football if you're from Europe. I never know what to say. I never know whether to call it soccer or football. Like, my head goes, like, they're bigger, like the biggest fans call it football, so I should call it football, but also, like, I sound so douchey as a North American person calling it that. So I'm gonna say that Cristiano Ronaldo is having his fair share of controversy on Manchester United. What's going on? Of course, Ronaldo, one of the greatest goal scorers of all time, one of the greatest soccer players of all time. There, I just called it soccer, I guess it's soccer. But Ronaldo has been clashing with the management of his team for various sort of personal reasons, and then management reasons, and then just wanting to go back to, well, he requested a trade, which in American sports we're a little more accustomed to. We see players within the NBA and the NFL requesting trades and movements and moving teams all the time. And that's not to say that players in soccer don't move teams, but to request a trade in the middle of the season, a move in the middle of the season, and then to bail on your current team, which is what he's doing. He's sitting out games, he's sitting out practices, refusing to cooperate with the management strategy, and the fans are backlashing. He wants out, they're mad at him, and it's going on like this. They see it almost as a betrayal of league code. Whether you agree or disagree, whoever side you're on, this clash and this departure from what the soccer fans would see as honorable within the sport is a bit of a dark mark on Ronaldo's stunning career. Part of why he can't get out of Manchester United is because nobody wants to trade for him. He's a very expensive 37-year-old player. He's Cristiano Ronaldo. He demands top dollar. Do you want to trade your future for a player who's got a present, but maybe not that much present left? Don't get me wrong, he's still amazing, but for how much longer and at that price? It'll be interesting to see how this evolves, especially for a player of this caliber. But for our main segment today, we're going to be talking about a hockey prospect coming up. One of the most talented prospects we've seen in a long time. And for this, I'm going to need to call in an expert. Somebody who knows the ins and outs of the hockey world even better than I do. Let's go meet him. Thanks for coming on the show. Here is for you. It's so soapy. Yeah, it's just dish soap. So, friends, this is, well, you can introduce yourself. Who are you? Tell the people who you are.
I'm Max. I work with the University of Toronto hockey team, and I've worked with the Senators organization. No. What? And I've worked with the Senators organization. I like hockey a lot.
So we're talking about, we're talking about a prospect coming up.
Yeah, we're talking about Connor Bedard.
Connor Bedard.
Yeah.
What's his deal?
Connor Bedard is supposed to be the next hockey phenomenon. He's supposed to be the next great hockey player. Connor Bedard has shades of Austin Matthews' shots. He has shades of Sidney Crosby's defensive awareness. He's physical. He is fast. He's smart. But most importantly, he's aware of everything that goes on the ice. It's a phenomenon to watch him in junior. And the best part about him is that he gets even better when he's against better competition. He looks even better in the World Juniors than I think he does in junior.
And how old is he?
Right now he's 17.
17. So he's playing against, and who's he playing against?
So he's playing in the WHL for the Regina Pats. He's playing against hockey players that are from the age of 16 to 20, playing in the WHL. That's a very high scoring league. It's quite a physical league. And there are players that dominate that league that aren't as good as Connor Bedard, but nobody has dominated that league as a 16-year-old and a 17-year-old like Connor Bedard has in the past forever.
Right. And we've seen, I mean, every few years, I mean, not to make it sound common, but we've seen comparable players to this, guys who've dominated at a young age, especially offensively. He's a wing, he's a goal scorer, center.
And this happens often. The likes of Sean Day, who now plays in the AHL for the Syracuse Crunch, was supposed to be...
That's a cereal, right?
Yes. No, it's a team. It's the Tampa Bay Lightning affiliate. He was supposed to be the next defensive great. He got early eligibility to the OHL. And he turned out to be nothing. Or like Shane Wright, who was drafted 4th overall last year. He was supposed to be, again, early eligibility for the OHL, dominated with the Kingston Frontenacs, lost a season to COVID, and thank you so much. And now he has gotten 6 minutes of ice time per game in his first 2 NHL games, and he doesn't look that good. Yes, he got his first assist, but he did not. I am not sure if he really touched the puck on that play.
Sure. So, when you have these young prospects, there's especially one of this caliber who's dominating in the here and now. Mm-hmm. It's still about sort of projecting what he could be. What is that one thing Connor Bedard has that special thing he has?
So that's the thing. He has 2 or 3 special things. The first, and the thing that excites you the most, is his release. His shot is quick, hard, and incredibly accurate. He also scores in different parts of the net than most goal scorers. He's not going high glove, he's going under the arm. He's not going under the blocker, he's going through the rib cage there. It's a real amazing awareness of the net and of where the goalie stands. Secondly, he's an amazing passer. Off the boards, he can do it through his legs, backhand, behind his back, whatever you want from him. And the third thing is that he can throw the body around. He's a physical hockey player. And when a guy can put all those 3 things together at 17 years old, it's a recipe for success.
It's true. He's a very high skill player. I remember I've seen some footage, and the way he shoots it, it's almost like it comes off his stick a little bit, almost before you think.
And that's the thing, you said it yourself, he's a high skill hockey player, and in reality there are only, let's say, 100 high skill hockey players in the world that can really play in the NHL. The other hockey players in the world that want to be high skill guys can't do it there, because you have the rest of the league are the best at being low skill hockey players.
It's true.
So Connor Bedard is a phenomenon because he can, he's a phenomenon because he can actually be, all signs point to him actually being a high skill hockey player in the NHL, and it looks like he could already be doing it. Here, do you need a...
No, I'm all right. The last piece of any major prospect's puzzle has got to be the personality, right?
Yeah.
Have you heard any rumors? What's he like?
He's a hockey player.
He like chicken parm?
Well, he must. He's a hockey player.
Yeah.
I will say,
I like chicken parm.
They're the weirdest connection I'll ever give you. A hockey player from Israel lived with Connor Bedard's family and Connor Bedard when Connor Bedard, I believe, was 14 and 15. And what I heard from that player is that nobody works harder than Connor Bedard. He would shoot 1,000 pucks every morning, and he would work out twice a day. And while that's amazing, that should be almost expected from a guy like him. He has to do that to be the best, and I think we expect him at this level to be striving to be the best because he really can be.
Okay. That's good.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely good.
All right. Well, before we wrap up, do you have anything you want to say to the people?
Help.
This has been the OCAD Youth Sports Report. My name is Avishai Sol. This is
Max.
Right. And we will see you next week.